All right, call the meeting of the Newbury Historical Commission to order at 7:10, March 14th,
How about the 12th? That's what I thought it was.
12th. Like I said, 12th. All right, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rebecca, do you have a book? Did you get a book already?
I think so. Is this still my
The New England book?
Yes.
Okay, that's who's the second person then.
Still my bag.
Okay, we got 2 months worth of minutes, meeting minutes.
One.
December
January.
12th. Just January, we did December.
Yeah, last meeting.
1 month, January 9. On your monthly template for the agenda,
Yes.
let's do website as one of the numbers.
Okay.
So we, website report.
Yeah, we can do that.
So now everybody has the Building History of Northern New England books for reference when we're doing research on specific houses for permits. Where's the
You
copy?
should change the question marks to Carolyn, Rebecca.
I already wrote it on mine, that's
I
why I
did too.
asked.
This is the book that the Historical Commission is using as a reference guide for New England homes. A Building History, Northern New England.
Get the stickers for me. Over the books? Thank you. We should stick it in front. Inside cover.
So Nancy had a correction on the minutes.
Yeah, it's number 2 under unfinished, where it says in the end, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay.
I did not write it down. I think there was a, I'll take, no, you can have it, no, I'll, because I only had so many.
Right.
All right, any other changes, errors, or omissions in last month's minutes? Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Okay, treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, I didn't have one, I didn't make copies for everybody because the last month's and this month's are both drafts. The only expenditures we've had are right here. What's changed is Wilkinson went out of business, so we needed a new place to get our portable toilet. And everybody's more expensive. So I'm keeping, so I've changed the allocation from our general fund, and that's pretty much eaten up the rest of the money for the year. And so I've got 2 invoices here, one for copying the visitors maps, and then Jan had the top thing for the books. The books we generally take out of the gifts and donations fund, don't we?
At your discretion.
We could either that or the restoration fund, the special fund. This one I'm suggesting for the copying for these, I'm suggesting we take out of gifts and donations too.
Okay.
So, do we need to vote on that or?
No.
I didn't want to do it without
business.
asking, that's
Yeah,
all.
so,
Yeah. Okay,
That's
I'll
all
take them both out of that. The one is for 219, that's the books, and the copying is $183.15. Okay, and then I can finalize these and I'll send a copy to Jan.
okay.
Okay.
Everything else, nothing has changed, except for the allocation. And the allocation is, I've allocated $254 now for the last 2 weeks. So that's, for the last 2 months, I mean, of the porta potty.
Okay.
Who are you getting them from now?
That's the next item of business.
Sorry.
No, that's good.
On money, so Lon and I sent in the budget requests for the annual town meeting coming up, calibrated for the cost of the more expensive toilets. We didn't realize that Wilkinson was taking care of us because we were the town.
Yeah.
So we were paying a very low rate for that porta john. So it's almost double.
Did he go out of business or is he just not doing?
Sold
it?
that,
She
sold that division.
sold out to somebody.
Really?
Just, for the corrections, just the porta johns.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just that,
All
yeah.
right,
He
I
still
wasn't
does,
sure.
he
Septic
does
is
septic.
still-
Because he did my
In fact, he
septic.
came out and worked on mine recently.
Yeah.
This is for Jan. So what I've got here, Jan, is the document I'm gonna hand out to everybody else, but I've got copies of the bids in here for your records.
Great, okay.
Yeah, the bids are there, and then the front that I've got, and I thought I made 8 copies. Interesting. Well, I got 3, so we'll have to share a little.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna read off of it anyway.
yeah.
Okay, so I went out, I got 5 bids, and we were really getting a deal. So the first bid, it's called the Rest Stop. That came in at $133 every 28 days. The next vendor was Discount Porta Potty in Haverhill. That was $199 a month. And they serve, they all serve once a week, service it once a week. It's extra for twice a week, but I don't think we get that much use. United Site Services, 210 for the first month with the setup, and 141 after that. And that's, that's for cleaning every 2 weeks, so 243 and 174 to clean it once a week. So I'm going to read you all the bids, and then I'll make my recommendation at the end. Then Metro Porta Potty Rentals, and that's in Methuen, 220 a month. And they clean it once a week. The Rest Stop, I thought I had the Rest Stop. Oh, that's the one I recommended. Rest Stop, their bid was 133 a month for 6 months to clean it once a week. And then Reds is who bought Wilkinson. And they're 125 per month for the 6 months, and they clean it once a week. And we know what they look like, they're kind of standard. The one I liked was the one for 133, so it's $8 more because they're bigger and less likely, they're heavier, less likely the wind's gonna blow them over all the time. And all of these guys are making noises about charging to come out. If they have to come out, it's extra.
So if
you
it's
call
like
them to
tipped
stand it
over or
up.
something,
Yeah, yeah, because when it tips over, you don't just stand it up. You gotta clean it up.
Yeah.
So, and that just tends to be a windy spot. So if we have to go for the low bid, it would be Reds. And if we have to, and for the larger one, it just appears to be nicer. It's 94 cubic feet, I
Yeah,
don't
it's just
remember
better
what
for
the other ones
everybody
were.
to have space to get in there and do your business.
But it's a,
For the.
and he's in Ipswich, and the other one is Reds is in Newburyport, but I don't know where they store their
Facility.
equipment,
Yeah.
their stuff.
You know,
And, and the rest stop is up here once, they come up once a week and service everything up in our area.
I know I brought this up before, but why is the historical commission responsible? When we're only open 2 days a week, why is that coming out of our budget?
And not with the
I don't
town.
understand why we're not
Well,
splitting
we put it
with
there
the-
for Sundays, so you got a place to
I
use
think-
bathroom.
yeah.
I've never used it,
I
okay?
keep it often when I'm
I
there.
haven't,
I can't hold my
I
butts.
think we did it as a courtesy
Yeah.
to
But my point is, why wouldn't the Public Works or something like that pay half?
that won't happen.
Well, it comes-
That's why?
it's a line item for us, so it doesn't come out of
You
something
know,
else.
Hamilton, the Board of Health pays for all of them at the beach and at the
Yeah.
lake and stuff. So if you wanna talk to
Whom?
I'd start Board of Health,
Board of Health.
and they say no.
Now, do they also pay for a porta potty at Plum Island, one? Don't they?
Who does?
At the center? Does the Board of Health pay for
I
that?
don't know.
Maybe
So-
you should
So,
talk
but
to-
what I'm saying is if they provide 2 or 3 porta potties other
Elsewhere.
places,
Yeah.
they probably get a deal if they just throw in one
Well,
more.
they used to have them at the sports field, I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you
That's
should
taken care of.
speak with Mrs. Blaze,
Who?
Tracy,
Oh.
the administrator.
Yep,
Speak with her.
Well, either or, you can be our liaison,
okay,
collect
I'll
information.
get yelled
I have
at
to
in
admit,
person.
I do enjoy that there's a bathroom there.
Oh, it has to be there. There's no question it has to be.
And then from what I understood, because it was already there when I first got on here, is that it was also, as you had said, a courtesy for the kids playing soccer on the
Right.
field.
Right,
Yeah.
which also wouldn't be
Moms.
us, you know? So, it should be a courtesy from the town.
I think part of it is because we kind of like own the Lower Green to a degree, but.
Well, this will all shake out.
We
This is
never-
presuming that gets approved,
Just
increase
did-
gets
we
approved
never
at
asked.
town
Oh,
meeting.
okay, all right,
Like,
So
yeah.
We'll cancel.
I'll ask.
if it doesn't get
Right.
approved at town meeting, then we won't have one at all.
go there with a big
That's
iced
true.
tea cup. Roll it toilet paper in my car.
So, can I make another comment? I did
Yes.
some checking on, because the company didn't exist when I got the bid.
Yeah.
They didn't start until the next week. So I wanted to find out something about them. So I checked the owner. The owner owns a
Make sure we're on
construction.
film. We're on film.
Yeah,
so.
it owns a construction firm. And I looked at their ratings, and they have a rating for their firm of an 89. And the Build Zoom recommends that it should be above 95. So
Okay.
it's just, they're new, we'll probably have some shakedown.
And where are they from? Is that-
They're from the Newburyport,
Oh,
yeah. But I'm just telling you, we might have some shakeout on this, so. That's the only comment I've got. It's $8 difference, and the other one's a little bigger. We know these because we've had them for years.
What do you mean shakeout? What do you mean shakeout?
It's a new company.
Yeah,
They just started up. The person that's running it,
Oh,
give him a chance in theory.
the manager, I talked to the manager. He seems like a real nice.
this is Reg you're talking about.
Reds, yeah. And the other place has been in business, the rest stopped. So you guys have to decide. If we have to go to the cheapest one, then it's easy.
I think it all depends,
I
right?
think it's the law. We have to go with the cheapest one.
Okay, here we go.
If you're gonna go down to measuring sizes as much as I'd like to,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna,
Yeah, I can't get any bid for this, for the equivalent thing, because the smallest one they have is larger.
if,
On the other one.
if at any point we're dissatisfied next season, we can change
Oh, yeah.
and disqualify the first bidder.
Yeah.
So, but lowest bidder is the rule.
Okay.
You have to follow it.
It's Reds.
Easy enough.
Again, we don't set up a contract with them, it's month to month.
Yep.
They bill me and
And make
if we
sure
don't pay, they
they,
take it away.
you need to make sure they have a W-9. You have to have a W-9.
We'll have to get that, yeah, they don't have that yet.
And make sure they're gonna handle all the billing and mail it to the right place.
Well, we'll see what, I'd rather they just email it to me, which is what I did with Wilkinson, then I get it and Otherwise, I've gotta go find the mail and figure out where it
So,
went.
so
Yeah.
as long as.
I'll set something up that's convenient for both of us, I mean, for them and me too.
As long as they're making it adequate and doing it the way you want it,
Yeah,
then it's gonna go with Reds. If there's a problem with any documentation of billing,
yeah,
then go with the alternate.
okay,
You don't need to bring it back to the meeting.
okay.
And
Yeah,
the
'cause
alternate would be
$8
the rest stop,
Rest.
right?
$8 is not a big deal.
I'll make a motion that Lon take care of booking the Porta John with Reds of Newburyport. If there's any documentation or billing issues, then alternate, second lowest bidder would be the Rest Stop in Ipswich to go with that bidder. Second, please.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you. And
You told me.
that's all I had.
Stop the topic.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Yes,
Moving on.
Nancy's the one who looked it up, and you're the one who told me I could.
All right, good. Pay that. Oh, I'm gonna send this around for signatures.
Okay, that's done.
This one I gotta get signed. This one's ready to go. You have, somebody has to sign this, because it's mine. I mean,
All of us?
yeah, well, at least Shannon.
Put your name on it?
Sure.
No.
And then I got 3, that's fine. Otherwise, this one I
That's
can
it?
just, I can sign and use the stamp, because it's been voted on and it's not me. Oh, and Jan, I'll correct the minutes and send you both.
The treasurer's
February
report.
and, yeah, I'll send them both in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. We got plenty to look at, but let me just double check. Do we have a website report, anything going on?
Basically, we were plugging around on it, and he was like, give me a list of things to do. So what else do we need to add to it? Like to add more to it. Do you want to add the Atkinson's house? Can we do that? Do they give us permission to like put up those photos or no? Because I didn't want to like start doing things like that without like knowing for sure if that was right.
Because
I have
You're
those-
asking me, I don't know.
Well, I'm just directing it, and you're generally.
We can- The short list of repairs, we already did
I
that.
think so, yeah, but I can, I'll add to it if I haven't. Oh, yeah,
They gave us permission
well, I
to
just
take the
didn't,
photos, so I don't see why we couldn't.
I mean, I can like limit it down to like, I took so many, I can limit it down to like the 10 best ones and just have it as like a, you
Or
know.
should I, do you want me to contact them?
Technically, I took the pictures, so they're like technically mine.
Right, and they gave us
Mine.
permission.
I just don't wanna like step on anyone's toes and have anybody be mad, that was my only hesitation.
Do you have an email to him, or?
You
I
want to
don't.
call the
I
owner,
can call them, but,
Sure.
say it, and say it noise,
How do you spell that?
S-A-Y-R-E.
Oh, there.
4250.
It's amazing that you still know
Yeah,
phone numbers.
that's-
If it isn't, give me a
I
call.
have it on my phone.
Email me. I wouldn't. I don't know, I can't speak for her.
Well, that's why I just was my hesitation, because I was like, I have all these pictures, and like they're already on my computer, and I was like, I could add like, you know, the pictures, and then I was like, I should ask permission first before I just start like throwing them up there and having everybody
And you,
get
you
the
guys
panties
have
in a
that,
bunch.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Hold on 1 second.
I think the 462.
Mhm.
I don't see anything, I don't see any old business from last month.
Okay, hold on. Oh, here we go.
Change this? Do you want me to get that changed?
No, no, it's
Okay,
okay.
okay,
It's got-
just that extra one.
This is the list of the books,
It's all-
as far as I know, that's on the website.
Okay.
There was a note in the previous minutes
case
to
number, you know.
add in, I guess, the history of Byfield. And
History of Byfield's not on there?
No, it's Astoria Byfield, I know
Oh.
in Parish, by
It is the right number.
Ewell,
you.
Ewell,
Ewell.
Ewell. Wow, that's how Ewell.
Mr. Elwell, I saw him voting. He was my principal in high school.
So, this is
Yeah,
what was
he was
on
driving
the website,
It's a riot.
I think.
Yeah, we went to Italy together, with all this talk of trips being canceled.
And then there was those two that we
These
wanted
here
to
on the
add.
copies?
Yeah, of course. But I printed it from something, so I must have it in my computer.
Well, the list is on, I was just on the
Yeah,
website,
we were
it's on there.
supposed to be adding, I could have sworn I did it, but, you know, it was, I think it was like around 11 o'clock last night, and I can't remember.
Understandable?
I added, the brief history of Old Newbury's are actually on there, but the, images of America. And then we needed to do the history of Byfield, so. I added it somewhere,
So, History of Byfield, and then we want to add this,
Yep, okay.
and Images of America.
All right, you want this back, madame?
Do you need it?
Can I take it just for a little while and get it back to you?
Yeah,
Alright.
I must have it on the computer, so.
Okay.
You can always send me an email and ask me if I found it.
True. Okay.
So you're contacting the owner of Atkinson's house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, correspondence, we've got correspondence.
Yeah, hold on one sec, please.
That's all you can find.
Okay, one thing we got was from IT about the village at Cricket Lane, which is a 40B subdivision thing, which really has nothing to do with us, right? That's-
Right.
that's-
What was the correspondence about?
I
That's,
told you they gave me a binder this thick.
What? For what?
oh, just giving us a copy.
Yeah.
So that's the Pearson Drive 40B development,
Okay.
which is roaring ahead. If anybody has interest in it, we have the giant packet.
How many houses did they settle on?
Last meeting I was at, I believe it was 25.
Really?
Yeah.
The thing is as thick as Eva's binder. so
Right.
It's holding up one side of my dining room table from, I don't
So
know, but
lucky.
in case of an
It
earthquake.
isn't just one loop? It's not like a connect? you're
It's
not
the
It
same
goes-
design,
Yeah.
really, I think, for the other one. I asked somebody, Doug, I think. and-
3/4 of the way around Pearson Drive, then it goes back.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
It's the same people, isn't it,
as where,
as the last one?
As the last pitch, like the last,
Except that there was
Yeah.
a problem with them and they had to withdraw.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
as I recall, so we have no comment on this anyway,
right.
so.
And then you got Mass Historical 4th Annual Presentation Awards. Reservation Awards.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yeah, inevitably canceled by
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, well, Lively canceled everything too.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, at least we don't have anyone to infect in the room at the moment.
Really?
The usual crowd that attends
Stop
our
it.
meeting.
So
Let's see, oh, that was,
I got the memo from the Antique House Show, but it's in Arlington, Virginia or something like that. It's like the restoration show. So. I
we
bought
got
a printed
Merrimack
map.
Valley Planning Commission, you know, our usual.
Did you know they have an active map system? Merrimack Valley Planning?
Do you know that's who did our?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
know,
that?
I know they did that, but did you know they had a interactive, I know our town does now,
They sent it out over on an email.
Yeah, so if you want a live map of the town, you're trying to do research, Merrimack Valley has it all. It's on our it's on the Town of Newbury's website, there's a link now.
Never
And
have.
I think I checked that out
I
about
mean, it's been there.
6 months ago,
Right,
but
yeah.
then I
It's
never
about a
looked
year,
at it
it's
again.
about a year, I
Yeah.
told the board already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have our usual, it's all about transportation.
Okay,
It's Transportation Improvement Program. So they have to notify us as a historical commission in case anything they're gonna go to do is anywhere on something to do with historical property, but these are just, it's a public hearing about fiscal year transportation programs, so it's, we got this lovely postcard from Blackburn Building Conservation LLC about restoring windows and architectural finishes since 1936. Wooden window sash restoration, wood finishes and refinishing.
that's the company out of Newburyport,
Middleborough.
Middleborough.
It's an interesting commute.
Isn't it? Like an ancient window on it.
Yeah,
That's the one I
I've
went
seen
to.
it,
I
well,
went to her, she did a speech in Newburyport at the library last winter.
I always see their cars driving around. They must
Yeah.
work, constantly working.
Did she
So
do the
it's-
windows at the house on the Lower Green?
No.
Window lady, she's got some title like that, didn't they?
Window what?
Out of Ames,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same one?
Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah.
She did a
Did you
pretty
want
good
that?
job.
So you
Yeah, I'll
have
keep
reference,
She did the
because
ones
you're
at
always
the
asking about
Historical
windows.
Society too,
Okay.
pushing out the barn.
Windows are the most difficult part of
That's
the
why
entire
I-
house.
Yeah.
I thought you'd wanna see it.
Yeah,
Commonwealth, the Commonwealth Museum sent us
Okay.
another flyer.
Where's that?
that's the place that's at the Kennedy Library in Boston that sent us the flyer. It's mostly kids' stuff that they keep sending us.
Oh, well, it's from the Secretary of State, and it has different, they have a new lobby exhibit, A Tale of Two Colonies. Why is Boston called Beantown? One theory is that the Puritans didn't work on Sunday and that baking beans on Saturday night and left them in the warm oven so that they wouldn't have a problem. The Scarlet Letter is here.
I was gonna say.
The original Scarlet Letter is in their vault, and then they have different things going on, so they always send it if anyone wants to take a look at it or whatever, feel free.
I think they closed. I think I saw it at least.
Really?
Who isn't closed?
I think they just.
Maybe we could
closed
go
them
into the
temporarily.
Buttonwood Museum right now, because it'd be nobody there.
Yeah, we get wide open.
I did that.
Just have to file. People call and say,
You were gonna talk about that?
windows restored.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys are funny.
There's one little thing, where is it? A little thing that's somewhere. Oh,
All right,
another lost piece since I got in the building.
well, you come up with it, we can come back to it.
Surprise! Somebody named Mary Brown sent an email to Leslie, who then gave it to me. She's wondering if we have any, could provide her any history information on 91 High Road. So if anyone's interested in helping her, this is from the end of January, let me know, I'll let her know.
Yeah, that's right.
And then a gentleman came in during early voting and wrote this note that that he evidently has something to do with haystack to this house that he wants to donate, I guess.
Haystacks?
Yeah. So he's from Ipswich, and he left his phone number. His name is Jim, I can't read it, but the end of it is like a Keikis. So he's at 5 Burley Road in Ipswich, his phone number is here. So,
He's got stuff to do with haystacks?
yeah,
Why wouldn't
She
you give it
wasn't-
to Ipswich?
I mean,
What would you have?
I don't know, but, he came in, must have come in with somebody when they were voting, because Leslie was up to her eyeball, or he phoned, trying to get the absentee voting done, so,
I can think of his bog shoes.
Right.
and I'm not sure if it's photos,
Oh,
pictures,
does he want to donate them to the?
I don't know. You wanna call him too?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know
He
he's
was in
about
charge of
haystacks,
calling everybody.
but that's,
She's our
What
contact
exactly
of the
about
outside
haystacks?
world. So she apologized that she couldn't tell him anything because she was way too busy, so.
So at your discretion, if it's photographs,
Yeah.
but we don't want to set up bog shoes in the schoolhouse.
no.
I
Yeah.
can't think of anything other than a long handle pitchfork. Maybe we could put that in the attic for the day we do.
Gondola. Oh, gondola. What jeez. Oh, isn't that what they had with those? Let's take one of those
We can put it in
So-
Juan's barn. Pull it out.
in.
on
Full of
weekends.
sand, make the sand hole down the tree
Say
again.
we get the waterfront model on it.
Well, I'll find out.
Okay, so that's all correspondence. Next item is, the barn is, on Marsh Meadow Lane. I've been doing that for 2 weeks now.
Yes, he has.
The cupola is not on there. So I did.
And we asked for 2, and we didn't even get
Yeah,
one that
so we
was in
keep
the drawing.
getting, keeps getting less. We've gone, so the original barn had 2 large cupolas on it. When we were meeting over this barn last year, we ended up with 1.
In the middle.
And, but that was only as a recommendation because we do not hold governing over the restriction held by the planning board. So, the building, to refresh everybody's memory, I sat down with the building inspector that was issuing the permit for the project and asked if we could submit our wishes. And we did, and the building inspector included those with the building permit. They're only our wishes and our recommendations because the preservation restriction was not held by the Historic Commission. It was, and the project was okayed by the selectmen along with us signing the demolition, quote, demolition permit for the disassembly and reassembly, with the planning board and the board of selectmen approving it. So, I did go back to the building commissioner's office this month and asked if the final inspection had been done, had it been approved, and where was the cupola, and the building has not been approved yet. The building permit has not been completed, and the new the interim building inspector, which I don't know if he is the new building inspector, I wrote him a memo, and the building commissioner's assistant also has a copy about the cupola and wanting to know where it is.
Their original drawing, they submitted a drawing with 1 cupola, and that's what they proposed. And we asked them for 2
Right.
to make it original, and now they have none. So they took it off the drawing that got approved.
Are they just not
Yeah,
done yet though? Is that basically like,
The roof's
we're just
done.
hoping that they,
Roof's done.
yeah, it
And that's
doesn't
what
look
we're
like it's
Skeptical they're
missing.
gonna come back and cut a
Yeah,
hole in it.
Is it
okay.
a metal roof?
It's got a metal roof on top of it.
We did okay the metal roof.
And it's an
because
earth
that-
tony color.
Right.
No,
No,
it's red,
it's a dark color.
cranberry.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to drive down there. I keep forgetting to. I drive past it, and as I'm
You
driving by,
went
I was like,
around.
oh, the barn, and then it
We
dropped.
said,
I know, that's the thing.
the memo says earth tone. He sent us an email and asked if it's zinc was okay, and I said, yes, zinc is okay.
Thinking it was gonna be like bronzy looking and it's red.
No, zinc is like a
Zinc
galvanized bucket,
oxide, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's
Yeah,
gonna turn
silver.
back gray with the sun after a couple of years.
Mm.
It's cranberry now, so.
I don't know why we.
Right?
From my car window, the rest of it looks fine.
yeah. You
But
need boots to go look at it. It's
So,
about murky up there.
so I have so I just told you what I did with the building office, and at this point, that's all we can do. That I don't know of anything else.
Too bad we didn't have an opportunity provide input to the selectmen, rather than trying to catch
Well,
up after the fact.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you and several of us went to the meeting,
Yeah,
and
Right.
we were not asked.
Yeah.
So, so that's how it stands. So we'll see if the cupola shows up.
not doing well on barns.
Well, you know what? We're getting smarter every time. And people sigh when we walk into the room now, so.
By the way, they're just, what are we under?
We're on, we passed unfinished. Do you have anything unfinished?
No, I've got a new, but it has to do with barns.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm not, so across the street from me, Steve Kinney is ripping all the siding off the house, and he's gonna put new shingles on the side of the house. I was just wondering do we know if he's asked for, do you need a demolition permit for that, as he asked? I think he's gonna make some modifications to the barn too,
On the outside or inside?
outside, windows.
Gonna put windows in?
Yeah, because they're actually gonna use the barn, and I mean, there aren't windows.
I know, I saw.
I mean, there's a couple like
I
this.
think most of them are on the not roadside.
They're gonna be in the
though, 'cause
back.
They showed me the drawings one time when I was over there last winter.
Mhm.
And I asked the same thing, because I was like, what's the plan here, you know, because I was like, because they had it on the table.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing too much to the inside, because Steve joked about how it was like, can't be like an in-law, it's gotta be in that like fine line. So I don't know how much more has progressed since then, but they definitely had windows on like towards the fields, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be, as you're driving by, you wouldn't see them, they're out.
Yeah,
So this is the White House.
They're
next to
facing
the
south.
schoolhouse.
yeah.
Is that
The one I worked
they-
on, they wanna do the barn now.
Not the original?
It's the big old giant barn in the back.
Okay, so, because the one, I guess this one that's between the house.
Yeah, that's
maybe, and
more
that-
of like
that
a
was-
tiny little thing that's,
Yeah.
I don't even know what that originally was supposed to be
Little
for.
buildings.
Little outhouse or
Just
something.
another outbuilding.
Yeah, but no, he wants to have like, there's no big TV in the main house, so that's where the television will be.
So he's not gonna put
Believe.
gutters back on, he's just gonna skip the gutters.
Yeah,
So.
I asked him if they were gonna be, if he was gonna replace them with wood, because they're wood now. And he said, no, he's not gonna have any gutters, so.
So with any exterior construction, they have to get, a demo permit is with just about every single building permit at this
And
point.
then we should have seen it.
So we should have seen it, depending on how much work he's doing, I don't know.
But he's
But-
just taking off.
And he's just taking the shingles off all the way around.
So
But
it's
then
not
he's
a-
gonna be
So-
taking the, he'll be taking
Every
the.
single piece of anything that anybody does in this town is usually some kind of a demo, you know, you demo and
Yeah,
but it's not what we were originally
he's not
asking
taking part of the
for.
barn away.
We were talking about, the demolition delay is about pretty much demolishing an existing structure.
Yes,
Not if I don't think the words say that. I think it's.
well, it's structure or
Structural.
or part of.
Yeah. I don't
Which
think they have to
leaves
tear
us-
the whole thing down. That's certainly what initiated us doing it. Yeah.
Have you received any of those type notices from the new part-time building inspector? I'm
No,
wondering if he even knows he's supposed to do that.
no.
Well, the
it
new
was
guy is starting, I believe, Monday.
Tomorrow,
Oh,
Monday,
okay,
Monday.
all right.
So is this he's different than the interim guy?
I believe so, but I do not know
because
for
is
certain.
he doing it himself, or is he having a contractor do
There's
it?
contractors there.
Because I mean, I would assume,
They have to pull permits for everything.
yeah, Cause it's not like Steve's out there just replacing shingles, so.
No, they're ripping them all off right now. They're going all around the
Yeah,
bottom,
so there's
ripping
gotta,
everything
I don't,
off.
I can't imagine.
And then he's
doing
gonna
it
fix the
right.
roof, which is all moss and rotted,
Right,
which
So,
really
but
They were
it's-
going with
it's-
the word
it's-
more raise, I believe, than
Well,
down,
the
'cause
term structure, so if it's, you're getting into window replacement and stuff, it's, I don't know, it's all gray area in the middle
Yeah.
there. But we're back at you saying, well, are they gonna add windows or subtract windows? That doesn't have any, even though it's a historic building, we can't try to control it with the demolition delay.
Okay.
They're entitled to have a demolition if they, unless they are destroying a historic artifact.
Yeah. I was just wondering if we got notified.
So, no, we haven't, I'll let you know if anything comes up on the
the
screen.
only one that's come up is that one.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So,
So you should probably leave a voicemail or find a way to meet with the new guy. I would say not Monday.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And explain what we do, what we're doing, what we need, because
Give him a copy.
Is he new,
It's,
like he's new to town, totally, or?
he's not from town.
Yeah, okay,
I forget where he's from, but.
right,
So he is starting Monday, and the interim guy, I guess, has been very cautious, I believe, in what he was, except for the standard things, you know,
okay.
so.
Next thing on my list is 23 Central Street, which is, it doesn't involve us, but we're all gonna need to be informed. We were, they had a department head meeting today. This is the gas station in front of Pearson's.
so are they gonna keep the other gas station as well, or is that gonna?
Yes, keeping it as well. So,
On and off.
um, in summary, there's, if you standing in front of Pearson's, where the sign is out front, to the right, there's a little white house with vinyl siding, make-do windows in it. We did the background research on it, going right back to the Moody's, and,
Were those your Moody's, by the way?
yes, it's my
They were,
house.
so I wondered if you owned all, or they
So-
owned all the land right to where the highway was.
The Dummers owned everything east of the dam,
Yeah,
and the Moody's owned like 500 acres to the
Wow.
west of the dam.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so it was owned by Paul Moody.
I think, and was
Yeah,
the
so
Michael
it
too or
was
something, yeah. Yeah.
Paul Moody sold it back to William Moody, so this is the second William Moody, be the son William Moody. So Paul Moody was the brother, so it is the Moody of my house at 61 Central Street, which is the father of the textile revolution that started in Byfield at the Byfield Woolen Mill. So that's who owned the land. But the house, I am confident that it fits the same profile as what I call a mill house. You'll see more than one of them in the Central Street area, especially the one just to the left of my house. Down on the waterfront, there was 2 and 3 rows of mill houses. And after, well, couldn't have been after the fire. The fire was, the mill burned down, I believe, in 1952. The entire facility burned down. But at the mill village was a general mercantile and about 30, what I call mill houses. And from what I understand, they picked a lot of the houses up and rolled them to other parts of the town.
It's amazing to think they could even squeeze that many houses in there.
I've
They
seen
must have
the,
been
I've seen
side
the
by
squares
each,
on
huh?
a map,
Yeah?
and they would, at the beginning of the first 200 feet of Orchard Street was 3 rows of houses.
Wow.
So they lost some waterfront there at some
Yeah.
point. And right on the corner, beside the bridge, was the mercantile store.
See, that would be cool to still have a little.
There would be a list someplace of all the houses they moved, you know, I don't know where, but.
Somebody
So,
So we're talking east or west of the freeway here, to the site?
So going
east, east of the freeway.
East, yeah, so like
East.
there's the Prime
So,
now, and it's
Over
gonna
there,
be
and this is on the other side.
Yeah. Yep.
So where's that relative to the little shopping center there? So it's,
So,
It's this,
it's way
this
down
one right
here.
here.
Oh, it's right
Yeah.
there. Oh,
What's that?
okay.
That's the one right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when
Yeah,
you
'cause
look,
that's
when
the
you
big
were coming
building.
tonight, Lon, there's
Rusty
a,
Lane, right?
one little house set back
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
a couple of 100 feet, I guess, and then there's, after that, there's just like more ground, and then there's the entrance to go into the plaza.
Yeah.
It's like right there, so.
I feel so sorry.
Right there on
for
the right,
people who-
relative to the entrance.
Because is it gonna be like a convenience store, like it's
Yeah,
open 24
it's
hours
gonna
a
be
day?
like a Cumbies, right?
Oh my God.
Full
So
block.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
lit up,
my parents live across the street from the one in Hamilton, and I fought with the Cumbies people so badly, they hated me. I used to show up at the meetings, the man hated me.
So
they
this,
still do.
this whole
Yeah.
packet,
Cause
it's,
it's lights from all the cars and pointing to my parents' house.
so it's a full-size convenience store with Dunkin' Donuts
Wow.
and
Wow.
I don't care.
proposed
I know, I was like, that's actually
12 pumps.
12 pumps,
so
really?
far.
Wow.
And they're having diesel too?
Yes.
Diesel too.
Well,
Do they have a design of it, Shannon?
is there a need for
Um,
It's about
Three
three-quarters of the
So,
way back.
so, and then, well, I'm assuming
there's
once
eight
that's
here.
done, are they
Brunswick,
gonna,
I've got
are they
a
gonna
big
renovate
bucket
the other
there.
space?
I
Or they-
asked that question today and they said probably.
Okay.
So they're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean,
So-
probably left?
I don't want one to look like a sad
Store,
sister, you have this
the
like,
old-
you know, like
Yeah.
Emerald City over
Yeah,
here,
right
and then
now
there's like
there's a house
Diddy
right there in the
over
middle.
here, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
So, but this is, it's two things, a plus and a
That must be
minus.
the convenience
It's,
store.
it's
Huge.
already
Dunkin'
zone
Donuts.
commercial.
Wow, look at that.
So, if you follow that, but it is still a special permit approved by the selectmen. So,
Have they approved it yet?
no, hasn't even gone before that. This was a preliminary meeting.
So that's Ron, yeah, Ronald Pearson owns it.
Yes, he
Yeah.
owns everything now. And
Yeah,
his
he
fam-
owns
rest
all
of his
this and all
family, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
So-
William over here.
There might be better ones in there, that's the way. You know, if they let them put that in, they should have them block off that shipping operation
I
they have in
know,
the
some
back.
bushes or
That's all you
something.
see is trees and piles of dirt and
Yeah.
right behind everybody's houses.
Well, I guess what I'm worried about is it slopes downhill into those two big ponds out of that, all that junk that's piled there. It's all those ponds are downhill. And this is all wildlife, all birds and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
yeah, yeah. That actually backs up, where did I see the property?
Yeah, so it's this little guy, right?
Bulgaris,
Yeah,
That's the little house.
yep. Channing, that's a corner of the Bulgaris property, so their property goes right down into the back there.
yeah, the Bulgaris farm backs up to
Backs up
Pearson
to there.
property, yeah.
Wish I brought that satellite image. I put the property lines on the satellite image and you can see where it changes, where these piles of stuff
Yeah.
are not just on this piece of property. They're over into here and
Oh,
some
it goes
into
everywhere
here.
now. It used to be kind
Everywhere.
of confined. 'cause
Yeah.
they
It's
had-
not compliant either.
Yeah.
No,
Well, and like I said, who knows what's in, there's piles of rock and gravel and
Yeah.
stuff. And
What's
they're
the
all
plan for
sitting
this?
uphill
Like,
yeah,
from the two ponds.
draining.
what's their goals?
They're moving fast. We gave them a short list of things we're asking about, and then it goes before the selectmen. So you'll be watching the selectmen agenda next.
Okay. Interesting.
I've made a deep request for all shielded lights,
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
like a glow over there.
I mean,
so,
there's quite a few homes right in that area.
Well, I mean,
Granted, it's a main road
That,
right
that
there. but-
plaza's a lot more
There's a
lively
huge
now
one
that the
back
Rusty
here.
Can's there. I mean, that plaza's just constant, filled with
Yeah,
people and stuff.
that's
So I
true.
mean, like, I think there's aspects of it where it's like, you know, a little bit more people, a little bit more, you know.
But
but-
basically, Pearson's he has a little store there, or somebody else has it,
yeah.
The
in his
Kiwi
plaza.
place.
Yeah, so that's gotta go out of business, who's gonna go
You
there?
can buy
But,
cigarettes and alcohol
buy beers
there,
in
and
there,
there's
yeah.
a
That's
hardware
right.
I always forget
store.
that. It's wine.
Okay, camera's on. So with this, so the questions by Martha at the planning board wanted to know about the building there. The building is later. It's vinyl sided.
Mhm.
There's no record, there's only record of the land, there's no record of the building. So there is no permit been taken out, demo permit yet, but I don't see anything. We'll process the permit when it comes to us.
What's this other older building you were talking about?
It's just, yeah, it's in,
Would there be any
You just
reason to
have
try
to-
and
yeah.
find a home for that or not? Or is it?
it's not a architectural, it's
Oh.
got modern windows. I
Oh.
mean, it is an
So,
older
like, yeah.
building, but the windows, everything's been changed.
Oh, this is the building we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was another building on the
No.
property.
No,
Something smaller. Okay, that's a house.
so that's just a little, so,
Is he keeping this garage up here too?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one's already got 8 pumps, so don't get excited about.
Is that how many's over there?
Well, there's 2 on each side and there's 2 bays.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not too bad. It's, well, I'm thinking more of the fact that it's gonna be this like,
No.
I get you, but I'm just
You
saying.
get out,
Right.
you can suck from both
That's ours.
directions.
You know,
Well, Newbury.
and this has the garagey kind of thing, and then there's like 2 bays
Whoopee.
behind the back side of that, I think, so.
Never liked those.
You don't like donuts or you don't like Lincoln?
I don't like the coffee either.
That's
But-
okay.
Blueberry
other
muffins, I
people
get
do.
their blueberry muffins.
Okay,
It's just.
so that's 23 Central. On to the next thing. I'm gonna speed read this. I got this from, this is about a week ago, the Essex County Registry of Deeds contacted me and wanted how to get information to us. So they're sending us a packet. As a member of the Newbury Historical Commission, I wanted to let you know about the significant project that we are undertaking at the Registry of Deeds and to invite your participation in making it a success. I gotta say, the Registry of Deeds does a really good job
They do.
nowadays. And they are they've got the whole website, everything's live. Every time you need something, it's right there.
And if you go there, they're very, very helpful, I've been told by a number of people.
Yeah.
Helpful and there's no line.
Essex County Registry of Deeds has been in existence since 1640. Today it is the depository of more than 6 million land-related documents. These documents contain a wealth of Essex County history, forged in part some truly remarkable people. These are individuals whose contributions impacted their fellow citizens in the fields of law, politics, business, education, sports, arts, and military. Property related to these records tell a story that reach across generations. See if I can get through. We are noting the significance, and are also citing where the related property can be found through our document indexing system. The intent is to publish our first group of notable land records in a 2020 volume included in the booklet contents on our Registry Deeds website. So this is going, the short story is they're looking for historic land stories from each town. Every Essex County community will be represented. I would welcome and appreciate your input on what person or property you feel would be most appropriate to include from your community. I'm seeking recommendations that you or your fellow board members have concerning notable people who lived in your community and owned properties, and these individuals could have resided during any time in historic period.
Sounds like your house should be the one picked,
Just, yeah.
yeah?
So there's going to be a different one each time. So she is sending the whole packet to us. I'm sure it's on how they want the stuff submitted. Maybe we should start a list somewhere. It can be houses or properties or farms and for different notable reasons. So they're going to send us something in the mail. But So we'd be thinking about what we want to submit for the subject for 2020. Maybe it should be something
A
where,
lot.
Nothing's,
Could be a property you say too.
would welcome and appreciate your input on what person or / property you feel would be appropriate.
governor's can't.
I was gonna say governors, yeah. If I was just gonna pick one random one out of the town, that's probably the most, no offense to the Moody's, but.
Well, we'll do the movies next. And Govs also has their own archivist too.
There you go.
I don't have her name committed to memory, but they have their own historian down there. So they're seeking recommendations, so that'll go on next month's old business. Okay, chapter 60.
How did you get this?
Apparently, we didn't, when we moved, we didn't leave a forwarding address from our old town hall.
No, this says 12 Kent Way, how did you get it?
Email, because she's mailing it,
Oh,
but I said I need something to read at tonight's meeting, so
Okay.
she emailed it to me today.
I knew I was losing my mind, but I didn't think I was quite that bad yet.
Don't know if I've got enough. Try.
What are we working on now?
All right, we're on chapter 61. Didn't get enough.
Okay,
I'll-
we'll listen.
I'll read and I'll give you the copy afterwards. So this is just a briefing because I keep hearing chapter 61 come up in plans and any stuff that keeps coming across our table, like Marsh Meadow Lane project and a lot of other properties in this town are put in a chapter 59, chapter 61, chapter 61A, and chapter 61B, which is it's a system of reduced tax rate in order, in exchange for open space, agricultural space, forestry space, or recreational space. And I've been buffing up on it quite a bit, and I just wanted to give everybody a briefing. It's all channel, well, I'll send it out just so everybody knows where it is. But it's run by the state of Massachusetts. So it's not, and from what I understand, the town does accept it. So we've accepted it here in this town, and there's different groupings, but there's also a lot of rules with it. And in summary, if you want to take a minimum of 5 acres of land in this town and put it in chapter 59 or 61, B, A or B, and you only pay 25% of the prescribed tax rate on said property for, it goes on for 10 years, and then the rate, after 10 years, things change, but what happens is this allows you to keep this open space land. But what my problem is I'm finding with this is it's sort of turning into a land storage for future sale. So you've got 277 High, and we just, and 105 is?
105 is.
So
that
105
is-
High,
Is
6
61A.
Marsh Meadow,
Yeah,
is stuff that's been put in tax sheltered, state of Massachusetts chapter. And then after 10 years, the people are taking it back out
And then
and
selling.
making housing developments on it.
Don't they have to pay the back
do.
taxes?
Yes, and it's not 10 years. I don't think
It's
I've never
five
been
or-
under any.
it's different chapters, one's 5, so it all, it's,
Right, not for like-
it goes for hundreds of pages. But they pay 25% as they keep it in, and then they take it out, and then there's a rollback,
Yeah, retroactive.
and also,
And I'm sure in their mind, they're selling properties and they're making $9, and that's still,
yeah, so there's two. There's two different programs that, there's the rollback and there's another surcharge when you take it out. But I want to know more about this, because when we come to these meetings, we should understand how this works, and also the fact that the Chapter 59 is for, people are putting it in there, but the last line on the first page under Code 2 is for the enjoyment of the public.
yeah, so it's not private anymore if that happens.
You
So,
have to submit a plan, a trail plan.
right.
Put an application in.
So, and then then there's different chapters you can put it under for hiking and trails, you can put it down for different subtitles, bird watching area, but I know it's a preservation issue, and we're a preservation group. So I wanna stay up with this, and I wanna find out, how to, is it, tax assessor's office or tax collector's office that would have the list? I know they're both involved in chapter. Assessors approves it, but who would have a list of how many of these lots we have in this town?
I don't know who has the list, but it's on the maps. If you look on the town website, you can look up agricultural open space, and there's different colors for different, the 61B,
Yeah.
61A, there's different colors. But I don't know who would have a list, but you can see it on the
Color
maps.
coding it just by doing
The
that, yeah.
tax assessor's office must have that. 'Cause
When
they
I was
have to
doing
check.
the reading,
Assessed
it's
based on that.
the assessors, it has to be the annual report. Like in other towns, like Amesbury, every year if you have the agricultural one,
You have to,
the building inspector shows up every year to make sure you're doing it. And you have to be producing money.
oh, they don't do that in
Yeah. No, I think that's
So-
just, I think, because Tracy looked into that for, her farm, she's like, I don't know, she's like, what can I make, like pumpkins, like, what can, because what are we gonna grow? But
So
hard to
it's not a just stamp thing and here's your
No,
low
it's not.
tax rate.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be doing,
do. Yeah,
and if it's forestry, you're supposed to be submitting a forestry plan every year.
Right, and even with the agricultural, the 61A, you have to fill out a form every year on what you own for land and what it produces and,
Yeah.
Mass DOR, Department of Revenue form, and your plan has to be submitted for the year in October.
right.
Does it
October.
get submitted to the state or to the town?
Assessor's office,
In the town you live in?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, then that answers that
Yeah.
question then.
They should know
But-
everything.
The assessors should have the list.
But the the collector's office is the one who collects it, so I don't know. But-
They just did mine for a third time and they got it wrong again, so they're just great.
So, rollback and conveyance, rollback tax and conveyance tax. And if one's bigger than the other, then that prevails, and then
It also gives the town the right of first refusal.
gives the town a right first refusal. Well,
They don't.
the town doesn't want any more land, so there it goes onto the open market.
House lots with ka-ching, ka-ching.
So,
And we did
I
get
like the
information
wetlands, you can put
about
wetlands
that.
on that.
really?
Marsh Meadow.
All his,
yeah,
You
Yeah.
didn't bring that one up.
but he was crying about taking next.
uh,
So they couldn't want it,
Really?
still on.
6 Marsh Meadow.
right.
Did
So
you already
that's-
comment on that too to them?
Yes,
but you probably
okay.
tell the class.
Okay, so this all started with 6 Marsh Meadow. What board sent us the packet? Planning? No, town administrator sent it.
Oh, yeah, it's from the town.
Town administrator for
On
6,
behalf of the board of
this is
selectmen.
for 6B, is one lot on
Marsh
6.
6,
Six.
Marsh
Four
6.
acre
6 Marsh Meadow Lane.
Lane.
And
It's in 61B. So there's no confusion, I'm trying to say that 3 times.
Right.
so it's 61B, so they now want to take it out of 61B, which is their right, and they want to build a house in it. So, because it is land, I did go to the meeting, I did go, and I've done all the review on it, and it's just land, so I told the town administrator we have no comment. But this, what's put me hot on this trail is, and now down there, I discovered that there's 86 acres of open space down there. That's part of that
The building
ORSM.
restriction. That was part of the building restriction when they broke out the property,
Right,
that they had to have a certain amount of it put in open space in the back there. It's,
yeah,
So
that's on
how much
preservation.
acres are they claiming
So
for
is
the
that
house?
preserved then?
That's-
just under 5. It's
Okay.
like
4, yeah.
4 3/4.
So does,
It was- I
that
thought it was
land that was
61A.
was had to be held out, is that still held out, or does that come back into their own possession again so they can?
No,
can
it's
have
just
it
the 4
Just-
3/4 that's
just
going
that.
to the house, everything else stays
This
there.
whole big hunk back here is the open space that
And
they
that will
have
stay
to
there?
keep.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that little front piece,
Oh, so they're bringing 5 acres of
Is
it
that
out
the house
of
right there by your
of
hand?
the set of
One,
six.
2,
Okay.
3,
And it
4.
was already cut up into house lots,
Oh,
which, if it's cut up into house lots, why is it open space?
Yeah.
So people can still walk it, they sell it?
yeah, so that's,
So it's here, it's 6.
So
interesting.
that's 101 on the 61, so
So it's
when
not the
somebody brings that up, we know what it is. There's plenty of information
Here's lot 6, here's the
on
house,
the internet,
here's the barn,
so
and
you
then I
can
put another
continue
house
the
in.
research, all the terms and how it works.
Oh, so they're gonna put another house within this
It
space?
says it says 6.
Okay.
Looks like 40.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
This is
figure
the
that out.
front now.
So
It's all 6.
It's all 6.
The lot in question is called, right here.
Oh, okay. Cause that's this lot 6, lot 6, lot 5.
No, it's
But it's
6,
this one.
it's the address is 6 Marsh Meadow.
Oh, that's
I
right,
believe
I'm
that's the
sorry.
whole
Yeah.
circle at the end.
Okay.
So it's 6 Marsh Meadow, and it's lot 3 at 6 Marsh Meadow.
Interesting. So basically the very end of the road.
Yeah, and what's the name of it? Who owns that property?
It's all Jesperson
Yeah.
Trust.
when,
I know,
when a,
just
when
wanna
a
hear it.
homeowner or a landowner applies for this, does it have to be approved by the town, or is it just you fill it out?
No, you have,
you're
it
good
has to
go?
be approved.
It has to be approved
But does it need to be approved by, it's not approved by
by
what?
the town or
by
the
what
state?
board?
You know, I've been doing it so long that I just
I
don't
think
kept
you
carrying
just
it.
fill it
I
out
used
at the
to- I used to
selectmen.
have the state come by the farm years ago.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah. They haven't done it for years. But I always just, I've never, I've had it for
Everything
so
in this
long.
thing is
and I just-
addressed to the Board of Selectmen, sorry to interrupt you, so. That's what happens when you do it over and over and over.
So,
It's like, where did I
all
start?
right, so that is, that.
I need to keep up with that stuff. So I gotta-
It's all on the internet, and it's very easy to find. I've been reading it night after night.
Yeah, it's all Massachusetts general laws, so that's all you have to do is go to Massachusetts general laws, type in the number 61, and it will all pop up, and you can pick and choose what you want to read. So, because you get a little list like this. The 61 is classification and taxation of forest lands and forest products. 61A is assessment and taxation of agricultural and horticultural. And B is classification and taxation of recreational land. So there's 3 different, as Channing said, there's more than one subdivision of this.
I wonder what the 5 acres on the Barton property was.
It was a 61A,
Is that 61A?
and I don't know how, because it had, well, it produced pumpkins a few years, I
Yeah.
know it did, but there was no income coming off that property.
It was
But
an
I'd
easy
be
to-
really surprised if you
Yeah,
filed an
pumpkins, they
annual
were-
report.
But it was a 61A.
So, and that makes me wonder about Bulgaris property. I mean, they're no longer using that. So,
It's probably still,
how's it getting, is it still getting stamped as agricultural?
yeah,
Don't
probably.
they have to file a report?
Every October, they have to
Yeah.
file a report,
With whom?
assessors.
Assessor.
So,
I guess somebody might want to send an email to the assessors.
all right.
Trees on the Barton
Next
property.
item, so I know we still have to do this demo, and I want to keep everybody here all night, so, I don't have enough, I'm gonna give this to you, about historic, oh, you did print the historic district, huh?
I did.
You did, okay. All right, we're gonna just start, talking about it. We can hand it out so people can read it. So, while I was actually, I tell you, just keep blowing off on the sidebars, but if you were looking for information on historic commissions and what we do, Ipswich's site is fabulous.
Yeah.
There's so much information on Ipswich's site. And if you have a question, and it has all the links and everything they do, extremely good website.
I think we got a lot of our the demolition delay bylaw.
You guys have seen all of this before,
I
but
seem to remember that's right.
nobody paid attention, so it's okay. This is what a local historic commission is supposed to be all about. If anybody would like that, there's copies. And this is how to establish local historic districts.
Not myself.
Oh, okay.
With some of these, if someone wants them.
So this is the part that I'm talking about, is establishing, actually, I'll go without, because I've been reading it all week.
Okay.
So, my point here is, in doing enormous amounts of research in the last week, is why don't we have a historic district commission for the upper, or the Newbury's Historic District? What's it called? It's National
National Registry District.
So we have a National Registry District. We should have a Historic District Commission.
Is that different people than us?
It depends. As I was researching it in Hamilton, it's pretty much the same. There's this long list that's in there of recommendations that there should be 2 realtors, 2 appraisers, 2 historians, 2 of this and 2 of that on this board. But also, in looking at Hamilton, because they have because I kept asking the same question. I said, you've got a historic district commission and you have a historic commission. So they have one historic district and then the historic commission. But that overlays, that's still the entire town, but then they have a historic district. But then I looked at it, the board members are the same. So under one of, on their websites, if you want to go onto Hamilton's historic district, historic commission website, it's condensed and now it's known as the commission.
Kind of like that.
We're the commission, we're here. So, as in future known, the commission is how they do it in Hamilton. So, we have a historic district And the question is, should we slowly be moving forward in trying to make it a local historic district? Because it's already formed as a national historic district. Why shouldn't it be a local historic district, and we have a local historic district commission? And that would give us a complete dome over those 31 houses, I think.
In the cemetery.
This is Upper Green?
Upper, the district, the map over the Upper Green.
Goes from the Newburyport line to the Short House.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm thinking about. I think we should continue to read about it. We'll have one of our meetings. We'll talk about, maybe we should outline what the steps are. I believe it probably has to go to town meeting.
Right
and-
here.
Okay,
Here's the
checklist
list.
procedure, okay.
Yeah. And one of them is public meetings.
Yeah. So, and the people in that district, I'm sure have input at the same time. But, I mean, for the preservation of that district and the preservation of the houses, we should go forward with it. And if they don't want it, then they've told us they don't want it. But I would think we should go forward with it. I don't see much workload changing, because we're doing it anyhow. It would just give us more control over that national district area down at the Upper Green. So, everybody take time to look at it, and let's talk about it again.
The First Parish Church is wanting to put the church into historic, trying to make it a historic landmark or a historic, I can't remember, because they can't get grants unless it is.
It's already part of the district.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not, they wanted to,
They want it to be separately listed on the National Historic Registry?
yeah, I think so. I don't know exactly, but I found the form, I got the form, I started the procedure, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try to sludge my way.
You
Is
started
that
with
just
Mass
the church
first.
itself?
Yes, and you have to, yes, and I think it has to come from the Historic Commission.
Yes.
It does.
The Historic Commission then has to make sure all the pots are there, then it goes to the Mass Historical Commission, because it has to be on the state registry before it can be on the national registry.
It's an awful lot of work.
Yes,
It's a lot of work. So anyway,
I thought the applicant submitted it to state, and then it was endorsed by
you have
us.
to send a letter of intent, or a form of intent that you want to do this.
You do.
We do, yeah. There's a form that we have to send to tell them that this is what we want to do and all that. But, so, I'll try to work on it, and the people at the church will help. So,
and that's just for the church building itself.
just the church building. The church was built.
Because I know Donnie had done a lot of work on the cemetery to try to he got all kinds of records, and he was filling out all forms because he had sent in a request to Mass Historical Commission, I believe, and asked for some information, and he had sent what he had and stuff like that, so as I have a copy of that letter,
Yeah.
Was that in the church or the cemetery?
the cemetery.
I don't know, because the church the building itself was built in 1868. And that's not part of our cutoff, it's before that, right?
That's just for the demolition delay,
Oh,
not for the historic part.
No, anybody can apply.
yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, all the houses in the district are not,
right, right.
some of them are not that old.
Right, right.
They're just, it was encompassing the entire area.
So does, speaking of that, does the police station inside, is the police station inside the map?
Probably.
The new one or the old one? You mean where they are now in
New
the town hall?
No, new one.
I don't
Under
believe
construction.
it covers Morgan Avenue.
I thought it included,
It includes the town hall, I
Includes the
know
old
I
that.
thought
Town
it
hall.
included further up into Montgomery, up into that area. I thought it included up there. No,
I don't know,
I don't know.
off the top
There's
of
no
my
old
head.
houses on
No,
Morgan
there aren't.
Ave,
No, there aren't.
so I don't know why it would continue up there.
I don't know.
You got the map?
Oh, I think I got the map, I got the packet.
Well, actually, I literally have the map, but
The whole box full.
Oh, that. How many did you get?
300. I got 50 pages.
Oh, wow,
Believe it or not, that's 50.
that's good. Good start. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
I do one pack would go to the library, and one pack would go to the town hall.
Well, they.
I have some
I
at
gave
the
them
time.
50,
Nothing
so,
on Morgan.
you know, Alex,
Oh, maybe they don't need it.
Nothing on
I don't think
Morgan.
they need them yet.
Okay,
and I still have some left from the last run.
okay.
So
I
if
heard
you
there
guys
only-
come up with an
said there were
answer.
like 15 left, right, in the schoolhouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
I counted.
I'll keep
Oh,
this in my
speaking
box,
of,
just
I'm
as a
sorry to
charge.
interrupt this whole discussion, but
Oh,
we don't have any more schoolhouse postcards.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So we gotta figure out what we're gonna do about that. That's kind of a
To
big
print them.
seller, so to speak.
Do we have the name of the printer?
We have, I know I
No, we
saved
gotta get
at
a new
least
picture.
one.
Oh, so we need to take a new picture.
We're gonna need, I thought we
We
were
did them
gonna,
online.
we wanted to do it a long time
We
ago.
did it
Yeah,
online.
you need a real high resolution.
Right.
To make a postcard, you need something that'll produce like a 25 meg.
Do we wanna wait till it's a little bit greener outside to take a picture?
Well, this is for the
Right.
It was
inside.
the inside
Oh,
one.
inside picture, oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the inside one,
Oh, then that's.
that
just-
now has children and a different
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah, I'm sure we can do that.
You gotta find somebody with a camera that'll do it. I thought I could, oh, you got one?
Oh, my mother was a professional photographer, I
Oh.
could just get a cranky ass over there.
Yeah.
Like, take a picture. You know, like,
And
Mom,
of course, now she'll know because you're on YouTube.
oh, I don't even care, she's,
We need to make sure our hair looks good.
oh yeah, well, I'll make sure everybody looks good,
So we,
but yeah, no, my mom's
maybe we
good for that.
should change the students,
Switch them up,
switch them up, let George stand and.
that's easy. We can position them do a couple different pictures.
One of them can't stand, but I think he's.
Like an
I think one of
Adonis.
them-
No,
Yeah,
we just
China,
changed the
but
clothes, they had
those
and the wigs, they had the same face, they could just,
So we're getting close to the beginning of the season, so we should, and the sun's out late in the day still, so as soon as weather
It's nice, we can get over there and do it.
permits, you have a key?
Yeah.
So let's,
Plan on that?
so Lon, you do the research on where they got printed?
Like, I don't know where I can
I
find a
think
place
we
to have
got
them
them
printed. Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
We just need an image
Okay.
that we
We did
are
them
happy
on-
with.
I was
like
just thinking if you,
Snapfish or something.
I tried copying the old postcard and used that, and that doesn't work.
so this, whatever
So
company
these-
you're using is probably gonna have a file requirement.
Right, yeah. It's
So
got
we need
so
to know
many
that.
bits per, yeah, I can get that.
So do that research,
Yeah.
get the price,
No, just
Yeah.
size it to whatever it needs to be.
get all that lined up while we're getting the picture done. Let's get them to print, so we got them for the spring.
Okay.
And do we want any other pictures? Do we,
Yeah, I'll have her
of
take
the
some.
schoolhouse from the outside?
Okay, nice.
Or-
How many are down there?
I don't know.
I don't-
I only know that one because everybody, I swear, who goes in the door
Yeah,
goes
wow.
out with that postcard,
Yeah.
so.
We need to cut back the lilac tree this year.
I'll French that,
Give her to, you know,
a little shorter,
short, yeah, because it's just,
over,
Yeah,
yeah, you have
it's
to
not
wait
gonna
till
be
after.
done.
it just takes over, wait till after they bloom and then cut her down.
Yeah, after
After they bloom.
they bloom.
Otherwise,
I just do it in the middle of winter.
Oh,
That's great for blooms.
Could ask,
I took,
could ask the tree
You
board.
can't kill those
Aluminum
things.
ones.
No, we tried to kill the ones at my house and the things are just growing back. They're not dying.
Okay, so
Okay.
where were you? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I took pictures of the Plummer property because it's all gonna be changed. So I thought we could put them in the file.
excellent.
See,
What a nice idea.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
somehow
you're over
somehow
there,
wandered
you see
into
that?
the barns and buildings somehow, and I have a lot of pictures too.
Oh, good.
I thought
I'm
we
gonna
could
see
just
it,
Have them.
have them.
Would you want them in the file cabinets in the library? Yeah.
And then I also took pictures of
yeah.
7
Was
Marsh
there one
Ave.
at the bottom to the back?
The fellow died, passed away, and
Yeah, you told us about that
Yeah.
house. Yeah, you think it's gonna change?
it is gonna
Wow.
change.
Yeah.
This is the house that was floated up on Parker River in 1952 or 3.
Where'd it float up
It
from?
came from
What
Great
is that,
Island.
is it
Oh.
17, Mosh?
7.
7.
And this is the house.
Oh, yeah, I think yep.
Oh, you can hardly see
And
it,
has he
huh?
just been like living there forever, kind of thing, like?
They've been living, they were recluses, actually.
Yeah,
And
it's a beautiful old house.
it's not really that beautiful. And the barn was wonderful, but look,
Yeah,
This
the
is
barn.
what it
Oh.
it's awful.
It's like, it should be used for a Halloween.
Oh,
What part?
God.
It's really scary.
awful. Anyway, so
that's
I
Mr.
thought
Blood's
these would be good
property,
to
right?
have
I guess when I look
also
at houses, I
as
see
a
what they
file.
used to look like
I
in my
know.
mind.
You can see,
You know,
you can
I'm
see
like,
the
oh.
original structure, I
In a
know.
year or two, there'll be probably 4 houses or 6 houses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shame.
That was Mr. Blood, right?
Yes, Arthur Blood.
Do you have digital images to go along with those printed notes? I mean, of the plumber property.
Yeah, I have them at home. Yeah,
Well, I'm just wondering if it would be useful to have digital images that we could store.
well, like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
have
mean,
them on a
additional-
disc. I have them on a disc.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. Because I've got a bunch of, I've got another
See
30
that?
pictures of inside of all the barns. You know,
Oh,
close-ups,
the
close-ups
insides,
of
yeah.
the carving.
Yeah,
and
they're
the
together
writ-
somewhere
written,
visually.
you know, where the
Yeah.
daughters wrote their names.
Well, I didn't go inside.
No, I
I
didn't.
just did the outside. Plus the land where they're gonna build all those houses.
Okay.
So, all right, sorry about that.
No,
No, nice.
Good job. All right, last thing.
It was
So what are we on?
We're
Oh,
on the
reading
demo
this.
app.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody pull out your demo app for 254 Middle Road.
It looks like my grandfather's house in outside Chicago.
Nice, huh?
Back when we used to have big families.
Jan, does it say entire building? Building new house. So I guess we're supposed to assume
Single
that.
family built new house.
Get a big porch, porch, covered porch around the house somewhere.
So we got a Patriot Properties picture of it.
Oh, it's another built house. I get it.
There's someone living there, right?
No, I think they just sold it and people moved out.
Would there be any reason to ask to walk through and take pictures, or do you think there's not much original left?
Well, it says on the front page, you can see the pictures on Zillow.
Oh, okay, oh, okay.
So if you want to see interior pictures,
Will you go on there and put in the address?
Yeah,
yeah.
17 acres line.
if they're still on.
I was gonna say, they're only up in for a little while.
How many houses are they gonna
Oh, we
put
put
up?
the password for here now, you have it?
One?
I can't even have it in my phone,
I
but
know,
I'm still
all they
connected
said was
to
they were, they want to tear it down.
it's gonna,
I'm assuming that part of that.
Are you trying to get online?
What do you
that-
think?
yeah, no, I'm still connected at the minute,
Oh, it goes
but I
on.
will do that.
The old
just wanna
fertilizer.
see, yeah.
The old
Is that
foundation
17 acres?
For the original Thurlow house is still there. You can see it.
It is in the back?
You can see it.
That's the one I put. It's got a picture of it here, huh?
It's 17.
It is, that's
Yeah,
what I
17
thought.
acres, yeah.
17.7.
Yeah.
Oh, we're here, I didn't see that.
Here are the
Canvas
pictures
over.
online.
So it looks like it's in such good shape when you look at it in color, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Look at the stone wall.
it's got a nice,
Yeah.
Nice
A little
view.
too modern
How far
for
in
me,
the
but yeah,
back
the
is
view is
that?
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, they did a terrible.
See it? You
don't see it,
good
just
to
barely
see
see it, it's up
Oh, yeah, yeah.
incline,
I
yeah.
think that could be renovated. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that could use the original structure and just change it.
that's, well, you know what
Were
it
you
is,
looking for
is people
pictures?
don't wanna take the time to do it.
Yeah.
It would probably, you know, it
Yeah,
would be
easy to
beautiful.
build it in
It's
4
bottom,
months
so
or
it's on the
6
other
months.
side of the road.
What a shame.
Where is it in relationship to,
Those look like the original hybrid.
cemetery, the first
Right?
settlers?
What,
No,
this?
this
Yeah.
is
This is-
Middle Road.
By Thurl's Bridge,
Oh,
the
I'm
house that
sorry,
looks over,
I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong road.
but like Nancy says, the original house is out back there.
The foundation, parts of the foundation.
Oh, just parts of the foundation?
Right. Yeah, so they don't
I mean, it's a
need
pretty old house, but
1875. That's
it's been renovated, but it's not
So many
like,
times.
yeah, it's not
And it's not
original,
the original.
yeah.
Oh, here you can see where that, I'm just trying to figure out where that sunroom was.
I mean, my house
Over
is half
here,
part,
Yeah.
it's still
looking at it
original,
from
you know.
And if you
the
look at
front.
the interior
This is
pictures,
just pop goes right there.
it's a poor
Behind.
renovation, you know, they put stuff, modern stuff into the old building, it's like, they don't blend very well.
I went through painstaking time to print out all the passwords and everything and put them in a sleeve.
Make
Put
barn
them in my
doors
3D
out of them.
binder, so I
It's
have
nothing.
them.
That's nothing.
What do you want to pass?
Just one.
I
That's what I mean,
wanna
it's a shame,
find it, so
'cause
I wonder
It
if
could
they
be
can bulldoze
renovated
it
if
or
you
something
just
can.
put it in
taken
my
apart.
notebook.
It sounds like they're gonna drag
I
it.
emailed them
So
all.
all the big
everybody.
timbers and everything will be gone.
Maybe if they're lucky, they've got somebody lined up to salvage it, you know,
Yeah.
the Norris guy, he's a
Yeah,
local,
yeah.
he's from Byfield.
We have to look and see when everybody's up for
Line.
renewal.
Okay.
I'll have to do that.
So, all right, so 254,
Yeah.
254 Middle.
This looks like some of the original stuff.
Nothing architecturally significant.
You wanna look at the pictures from the inside?
Did you see something?
No.
It's just a shame, that's all.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no need of it. That's all right, not my house.
Other than it being a shame, any other
Thoughts?
opposition or anything, I'm willing to
I
say.
think the stone wall is significant. Look at the,
That's probably not gonna get changed though. Well, maybe.
you know,
I'm sure it is.
Well, is
Scared
is
to
the
go there?
stone wall some kind of a marker? If it's a boundary, not a boundary, it can't be a boundary marker.
it's funny, they've got one around the house and then they have one on the
Right.
One on
driveway
the
coming
barn,
in.
one around the barn too, the
Yeah.
base,
Yeah.
or whatever that building, outbuilding.
Is
Yeah,
that
that was probably the other floor.
That's something
Is
else
that a
I wanted
Oh,
to
it's just in front of
a
it.
driveway?
It's just in front of the barn, it's not all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Stone wall by law.
Ooh,
Well, the first part of the research is to see what other towns do.
Here's,
Good.
here's Boxborough.
Don't get us sidetracked, we're in the middle of something.
No, then you can have some, we can, maybe
still keep
people
that.
can look at it for next week.
Channing, is that a dry laid one or has that got the cement between the things? Can you tell?
It
by
looks like
looking
it's
at
got
it?
cement in
It
there,
does
maybe.
have some
Yeah.
between there.
It's too uniform.
Yeah, yeah, too perfect.
That's cool, yeah.
So,
Read that.
And I assume they're planning on putting it right where the house was, they're not like setting it back and stuff, because they want the view.
they don't,
It
they don't.
looks like it's,
The-
looks
well,
like it's on the
plans would be on the
highest part
On the
of the
system,
property.
but the plans are
house.
not for
Yeah.
us to
Oh,
discuss.
yeah, what a
It's-
view.
it's
So,
tearing
yeah,
down
so
the
the view is
existing.
down, so I'm sure they'll.
If you
that's
wanted
why
to
they
look
pull
at
it
them,
down,
Jen
so
would
they
have
use
them
that site.
available.
Okay.
That's why
I
they
just
keep the
wasn't
rock
sure, you know what I
walls.
mean, because it
Yeah.
seems like there's a lot of space there, so I didn't know if they were.
Next time over there. you go.
Right, I know, it's a good spot. Happy with
So,
Yeah, everything's down.
do I hear a motion to approve the demolition permit?
No.
that. See no reason to oppose it.
I'll make a motion to approve demolition of 254 Middle Road.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against?
Hey. I'm not,
She's not a voting member, is she?
That's
Just
what-
protesting.
It's a protest vote. I'm voting present.
Unanimous. Jan, you want to do it or you want me to? do it?
Beautiful property.
it is a beautiful
Yeah.
property.
Yeah,
Good
it's a good,
spot for
it's a
us.
good spot.
I should have had Fred buy it years ago.
Really?
It was the original Phil.
Really? Those things you look back in retrospect, and you're like, darn it.
It's worth
Probably
950.9.
owned by the person who made it.
Yeah.
The first
Oh,
person.
really?
What'd you say, 17
It's
acres?
amazing.
17.5.
17.73.
Nails.
And, yeah, and then,
Wasn't
the Witch's Stone house is
Has
on
that
the
sold yet?
market.
I walked through that, that's a beautiful old house, I hope
And
somebody
they
doesn't.
own all that land
Yeah,
behind it,
you can
that's gonna be
tell.
the next subdivision
Yep,
probably.
100%.
Oh, where's that?
Did
The
you
house
look-
is beautiful, it has this
Coleman Road.
beautiful
Coleman
center
Road.
staircase.
Did you, oh, the pictures
Yeah.
of the interior, it's
Gorgeous.
like, nobody has scratched
Yeah.
anything in the last 50 years, it's beautiful.
My neighbor brought her mom through because she wanted her mom to consider it, and my first thought when we walked through it was like someone's gonna want the back acreage because it's beautiful and there's plenty of space.
Well, the land next to it's already been submitted, but
Has
it
it?
wasn't approved. It was,
The house with the witch's stone, it's,
Oh,
you know, and they have,
Coleman Road.
Thank
Coleman
you.
Road, yep.
But
But the house, it even has a sleeping porch on it,
yeah,
which
no,
I haven't
honestly,
seen
I
one
was,
of
I was
those
really
in
impressed when I
ages.
walked through, I was like, this is not what I expected at all,
No,
it
it's
was
beautiful.
really well maintained.
Yep.
My wife had a sleeping porch in her house just outside of Cincinnati. She used to go out there in the summer and sleep.
Oh,
We've been
yeah,
out there.
yeah, all windows, yep,
Yeah, well, this was all streets.
yep.
Street.
I don't know.
You sleep with the windows closed.
I'm just happy I'm high up because I hear the crazy stories of people,
Yeah, I want to wrap up.
you know,
So-
being
so
low
you
down
handed
there,
out
and
the
I'm
Stonewall
like,
thing.
I
We
did.
went back to visit that house.
what do we need?
Is yours or
No,
mine?
it's yours.
In fact, that's the town we met, or the area we met in.
All right, so read your Stonewall bylaw for next meeting,
I think
and,
it's going to have to pay attention at Cottage Road because there's stone walls the whole length of it, and I believe it's a boundary. So,
that ought to be a research thing too, is look up what the mass law is on boundaries. Because they're also doing doubling the size of that storage place on Route 1.
well, yeah,
Are they really?
the gated community on Ross
There was
Lane,
a whole,
they took the stone wall off, and the planning board made them put it back.
Fine, here's $100 per day that it's off.
really?
All right, well, we better get on that.
As everybody on listserv,
On what?
the Mass Hist listserv that I gave out information on how to get on the people on?
Have we got on it? I've
I
got on
was.
it. Am I on it presently? Not presently. It's vague.
It's too many emails.
Well, they send, well, you can, if you see who they're coming from, if you're not interested in reading them, you can always I just put them all in archive in case I wanna look at something later. But once a month you get a thing that says, this is a standard like monthly thing that
Oh, I don't
you.
think I signed
and
up for
And
that.
I believe you have to open it,
Okay.
so that they know, it must send a red
Yeah,
thing
or they won't
back,
send them to you?
or they just kinda drop you, you just kinda fall off the list, so. But the list where this was on, the guy was some of the people on this thing was hysterical. So I don't know if I forwarded that to you guys or not. But you know, I was hysterical, I'm just telling you. It was, it was like something to the effect of, and of course, the town administrator and their unknowing wisdom, I mean, it was just the way the guy phrased it, or it was just kind of hysterical, so. But that's what caught my real attention, and then I'm like, oh, look, there's a bylaw already, all we have to do is check it out, get it submitted, and see if we like it, and go for it.
Do you have an extra copy for my father?
For what, this?
Stonewall.
Oh, sure.
Okay, we did a lot tonight, we got a
We
lot
did.
going on.
Boy,
We were good.
Stonewall.
Good. Let's, can we click that off in a second you get?
Okay, we,
Make a motion, we adjourn at 8:50.
Second.
Or-
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.